Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at Clarence Park, where the Saints have gone down to a 2-1 National League South defeat to Welling United. We had plenty of chances there, Ian. We didn't take them. Welling were very clinical with their chances. Is 2-1 a just score?
It's difficult, as I said to you last week and the week before, David. It's difficult to take because it was just that period from when they scored to when they got the second goal. I felt we dropped our heads and we lost a little bit of confidence, and players didn't want the ball, and that was a bit of a worry. But I felt up till they scored we were more than comfortable in the game. We looked really good. Some of the football we played was outstanding. Some of the chances we created was excellent. We'd hit the post, they'd keep him making a couple of good saves, and then, like everything, we get over precious in terms of going forward. Everybody's bombed forward, and before we know where we are, Charlie's give the ball away on the edge of their 18-yard box, and we're 1-0 down the other end. And that was in the 43rd minute, and then for 15-20 minutes of the second half, we were never in the game. I felt the players' heads were down, which was a concern. We looked to try and get a reaction. We made the save, the substitutions, and the minute you take David Noble off, who's been protecting the back four for long periods there, the runner makes a run, nobody picks him up, and then we're 2-0 down. And then it's funny how everybody then has decided that we've got nothing to lose now, and we've gone and played some really lovely stuff in the last sort of 20-25 minutes. And I think their keepers made 4 or 5 outstanding saves before we scored in the 91st minute. So we have to look at it again. I look back at Dartford, Hungerford, Hampton, and again today, and look back and think, we've been beaten by a side that's been very, very well organised, very well drilled in terms of the personnel. They've got lots of experience in their sides, and I look at us and I think we've got a really good, young, exciting side with 1 or 2 older players, but we probably lack that little bit of experience in certain times, at certain areas, when we need to get older players and get hold of the situation in terms of too many people going forward too quickly at times. We need to defend properly first and foremost, keep a clean sheet, and hopefully you'll take one of the chances we created. But as I've said all along, I want a side that's going to express himself. I want a side that's going to be looking good on the eye. Perhaps we're looking too good on the eye at times, and that's obviously undone us again today.
In that first half, Welling took the lead 5 minutes before the break. I thought they played some good football, and they went into this game in good form. They lost last Saturday, but it's something like 6 straight wins before that, and they played the ball really well. But we were creating all the chances. But the trouble is, we're not taking them. In the 4 games leading up to this game, we had something like 70 shots and got only 3 goals, and 2 of those were against Hadley. We're not clinical enough.
No, I think you're dead right there, and you're telling me 70 shots in them. That's an astounding stat, that is, because that just shows you some of the chances we're creating. But as you said there, we haven't been clinical enough, and I spoke about 2 people last year, Louis Fiapunis and Junior Moraes. They used to love scoring goals, and that's what we've got to try and get back on. We're back in training Tuesday night. We'll work hard in there, but we worked hard last week on training, in finishing, the week before finishing. So all we can keep doing is trying and trying and trying. It's very difficult to say that we lack the personnel to do that, because I think if you look at Charlie Walker's record, Sam Merson's record, and obviously Nathan Pinney's record, they've all scored goals at this level. But also some of the chances aren't falling to them all the time. So all we can keep doing is creating the chances, because if we keep doing that, then obviously we're going to have to try and take the chances. But it's okay creating them amount of chances and having that sort of stat there, but we've also got to look at the way we've defended the goals again today. Twice they've had runners run from midfield, we've not picked them up, and they've scored 2 goals. So that causes me a concern, because we've got to be a little bit brighter there. Centre halves have got to obviously talk to the midfield players. Midfield players have to go with runners. And maybe if we keep a clean sheet and we score in the last minute, everyone would have been over the moon, as we would have done against Hungerford, as we did against Bath, where we kept the clean sheet against Bath, but we managed to score goals at very important times to keep us in the game. So it's a tough one to take, because as I say, if we were playing very poorly, I'd be concerned. But we're actually playing quite well. I thought Reece Morel Williams, who didn't really get a kick for sort of 70 minutes, was 20 minutes, then become like the best player I've seen in non-league football for 20 minutes, and their keepers made 3 unbelievable saves from him. So, but we have to keep believing in what we're doing. We have to stay positive. It is a bit of a blip at the moment, but if he was playing poorly, I'd be concerned. But at the moment, I trust these players, as I said last week. lots of things we need to work on, lots of things we need to try and do different, and we need to be disciplined in certain areas at certain times and make sure we see the games out properly.
You mentioned the keeper there, Dylan Barnes. I believe it's his last game on loan to Welling from Colchester United, and he was in exceptional form, so maybe our forwards are not totally to blame for that defeat today.
Well, if he's saving them, you've got to say that we're hitting the targets, which is important. But I still felt there was 2 or 3 opportunities there where if we put them in different areas, then perhaps we might have scored. But you know, you can only hit the target, as we said. He's probably made 5 or 6 really good saves today. I think 2 in late on from Maurice Morel-Williams. He's managed to put them round the post for corners, where, you know, if they drop down on the back post, we've got Sam Merson and Nathan Pinney coming in who just taps them in the empty net. So good luck to the keeper at the end of the day. As you say, it's a shame he's going back this week. Perhaps he should have gone back last week, and we might be sitting there with 3 points. But as I say, you know, I can't moan at these players. I can try and teach them and organise them and try and make them do things slightly different in certain times at certain areas. And we need to talk that through on the board and in training on Tuesday and Thursday of next week. And hopefully we can improve, because we certainly did it in the first 6 or 7 games of the season. Things have gone against us a little bit at the moment, but as you said there, I think if the amount of chances we've created, if we score more goals, then it will take a little bit of pressure off the back 4. Plus, in certain situations, you know, we've gone 2-0 up at Hadley on Tuesday, as we said, Cambridge City, Bridport, and we've decided that was enough and we switched off. So we've still created chances in them games, but it's not something that's just crept up on us. We've created chances nearly all season in terms of every game we've played. We've just not been clinical enough in any of these games, and you know, we've played 17 games now. I think we've only scored 24 goals. So the return on goals per game isn't good enough, and that's what we have to go and improve on and try. And if players that at the moment can't do it, then we're going to have to try and bring some personnel in that is going to do it. But you know, I trust the personnel we've got here. You know, Nathan scored goals at this level, as I said, Charlie has, and Sam Merson has. So we've got to see where we go with that. But also, as I've said at the beginning of the season, you know, I require Reece Morel-Williams, Zane Banton and Sean Lucian to score sort of 10, 12, 15 goals each between them, and they've dried up. Where at the beginning of the season they were scoring lots of goals. All their goals have dried up now. But you've got to give credit to other teams. They've come here, they've seen how we play. They do stop our wide players from getting into certain situations. But as I said, I think the whole squad needs to be scoring goals, especially the front 3 or 4. You know, if they can score more goals, then it's going to take a bit of pressure off the back 4.
We were talking before the interview about the run, 1 point from the last 4 games, but I don't think we're playing any worse. And when we won those opening 6 games, it's just fine lines at either end of the pitch, and we're not getting the rub of the green.
No, we've said that. I mean, we've lost Harold, and it looks like Harold's out for 4 weeks, and Tom Gardner's going to be out for another 4 weeks, it looks. So we've lost those 2. So, you know, it is a little bit of a blow, because defensively it leaves us a little bit weak. I felt Percy has come in and done great at the back, and Tom Bender's helped him a hell of a lot. But we're not, and I'll still say that. You know, we played Willstone here and got absolutely battered and won 2-1. We went to Chelmsford and become under a lot of pressure, but still managed to pick up a 2-0 win. So, and even the Western-super-Mare game here, you'd have said at 1-1, it was an end-to-end game. We could have quite easily dropped something there until Reece scores a worldie, and then we got a tap in the last couple of minutes. So I think, as we said all along, the season will even itself out at the end of the year. I think we've got a really exciting young squad here with the 2 or 3 older players. But sometimes we've got to learn to win a game, and sometimes how to just to see a game out. And every now and then, you know, a 1-0 would be good. To actually play quite poorly and win 1-0 would be nice. So I'll agree with you totally there. I actually don't think we've played poorly in the last 4 games. We've picked up 1 point. But these things happen during the season. We've got to, you know, as I say, all we can do is dress ourselves down, pick ourselves up, go again, stay positive, stay on the front foot, and look to try and keep winning games, because that's the only way we're going to try and win games. We're not good enough defensively to try and get a 0-0, but you know, we might have to just look at different shapes, different ideas. But you know, lack of personnel in 1 or 2 areas at the moment is causing us a problem in where we want to try something slightly different. But at the moment we can't do that, so we've got to stick where we are, try and keep working with the personnel we've got, which is fine, and try and improve and try and take some of the opportunities we created, because if we do that, it will take a lot of pressure off everybody at the back.
You mentioned the injuries for Tom Gardner and Harold Joseph. Sean Lucian went off before half-time today. What's the situation with him?
He's just got a really bad dead leg. He knew straight away. He got a knee to the thigh straight away. And within seconds you could see he was always struggling. So I didn't think it helped us today as well. I felt we were right on top at the time. I thought Zane Banton was causing them lots of problems in the hole. And unfortunately, maybe the change just sort of lost our way slightly. We didn't get to grips in terms of the man in the hole. I thought Kieran come on and played probably a little bit too deep today, where we needed to drive on a little bit more and get in touch with Charlie Walker, and then we started to isolate Charlie Walker, which was a problem. So up until the injury to Sean, I felt we were more than comfortable. Looked as if we were going to open him up every single time we attacked. I felt the injury there for 15 minutes before half time. We just lost our way a little bit, and that was the period when I got the winner.
Move on to next Saturday now. We're away to Chippenham Town down at Harden Hewish. Not a ground we've been to that often. Their first season at this level, they're not doing too badly, although they went down 1-0 today. A game where, again, we've got to look for victory and try and cling on to this top 7 place.
Well, as I said to you before, I don't ever go out and try and set up to draw a game of football or lose a game of football. Every game we try and go out and try and win it, and we'll do exactly the same. I think their home record is that they've not lost at home for a year and a half, so it'd be nice to go there and be the first team to go and do that. But as I said earlier on, we have to defend slightly better than what we've done again today. We've had lots of possession today, but it'll be a tough game, as we've said all along. There is no easy games in this league. We've known it from day one, really. But if you look at our wins compared to our defeats, I think that's 4 defeats or maybe 5 defeats today, all by the odd goal. But we haven't won many games by more than 1 or 2 goals anyway. So everything at the moment is quite tight. I think the league is quite tight. I think we've all the managers who I've spoke to over the last few weeks has all said it. There really isn't an Ebbsfleet or a Maiden in it this year. I think any team that goes and puts a consistent run together, will push themselves in the playoffs. And there's a long way to go. As we said, I think there's 25 games still to go. We've got to try and win as many as them we can. We've got to stay positive and win those games, and every time we pick up a 3 points, somebody else might lose one. So yeah, we had a great start to the season. It's been tough for the last sort of 11 games, we know that. We've not won enough games, but we're not playing poorly. But we've just got to keep believing in what we're doing, and maybe we need to just make sure that we stop giving the silly goals away and start making sure we take some of the chances that we create.
We finished the game with 2 people up front today. Supporters ask, are we going to start with 2 up front sometime?
Well, it'd be nice, but again, we don't know, do we? Because we haven't played really with 2 up front. So, if we play 2 up front and get beat 5-0, then what are the supporters going to say then? So, what you've got to look at is the system for us at home, playing the way we've played today, has been great. I think we've taken 19 points out of 24. We're a 0-0 draw against Hungerford when we probably should have won 5 or 6 and created 11 chances. And a 3-2 defeat to Gloucester where we was down to 10 men for the last 35 minutes. So it's easy to come out and say 2 up front, 2 up front, 2 up front. The shape for us today and the shape for us all season has been fantastic. We're not playing poorly with that shape. So I could go and play 4-2-4 next week or 4-4-2 and we get beat 5-0, so they'll moan at that. So at the end of the day, I can only do with the personnel what we've got at the end of the day, and the personnel we've got at the moment, the shape has worked well for us apart from the last couple of games. 2 up front would be great if we could have strength in other areas, which isn't going to leave us slightly weaker, especially if we're losing the 2 centre halves at the moment. So, and then if we do that, we might have to change the way we play. At the moment, we're playing through the thirds, we're playing through the midfield areas. If we're going to play 2 up front, you've got to get the ball to them. So it will isolate people like David Noble and Solomon, who are quite comfortable on the ball. And if we start bypassing them and just ask them to go out, we might as well just get rid of them 2 from the club and go and get 2 cloggers in who are just going to go and win big headers and just smash the ball back in behind them. So it's difficult. I understand the frustration. Nobody's more frustrated than me, but at the end of the day, if we can get to 2 and it works for us, then nobody will be more pleased than myself. But you've also got to look at the personnel we've got here, and to be fair, up to the last couple of games. And again, as I say, the home form here has been outstanding up until really losing today. So, we've dropped 1 or 2 points in one draw and 3 points in another one. So we've got to believe in what we're doing. The shape of game today wasn't the reason why we got beat. We got beat today because we haven't defended well enough for the 90 minutes.
Is there a type of player you think could enhance the squad at the moment you'd like to bring in?
I think there's probably 1 or 2, yeah. But again, we have to respect where we are in terms of the budget. We have to respect in that we've got 2 players sitting on the sidelines eating money up. We're both on contracts, and that's what we have to do. So we have to respect that. I can't keep going back to the owners and asking for more money, because it's not fair on them. We have a budget that we have to sit to, and we're doing that. But it would be nice to bring 1 or 2 in. But again, you know, if this consistency doesn't improve, then you know we might have to look to move maybe 1 or 2 on and bring 1 or 2 in. But it's got to be the right personnel, because at the moment, as I say to you, you know, I enjoy the squad we've got here, enjoy the players we've got here, and I enjoy the way they try and play football. Unfortunately, you can't keep losing games of football because it puts pressure on everybody.
Yeah, interesting point there, because the gate today is another decent one, over 700. Apart from the result, do you think they've gone home reasonably happy?
No, I think they've probably gone home disappointed because they want to see us win games of football. And for me, for 20 minutes there, 25 minutes, we didn't play with any passion or power or pace, and I felt we all felt a little bit sorry for ourselves. And you know, it was easy to say we went 4-2-4 or 4-4-2. We put the 2 up front, but we played a different way in the last sort of 20-25 minutes. We sort of lumped it up the field. We didn't go through the thirds, and that's something, as I say, we have to have a look at it. And as I said there, you know, the 2 wide men, Zane and Reece, had a spell where they were untouchable. And as I said, for 20 minutes, you know, Reece was probably the best winger in non-league football at that time. But for an hour, we struggled to really get him into the game. He struggled to take the left back on, and he really struggled in his performance. But you know, that's football at the end of the day, especially playing with wingers we've got. Is sometimes they're going to drift in and out of games. But you know, we have to wipe ourselves down again, as I said there. And you know, the system hasn't been the reason why we've lost games this season. The system's been good. We just haven't defended well enough in both boxes, really, and we haven't taken the chances we created, and we haven't defended enough in our own box at times.
Lovely, thanks very much, Ian. Right, the Saints go again
Thanks,
next Saturday. That's the 11th of November. Away to Chippenham Town, Harden Hewish Park. Kick off at Bristol Road in National League South is at 3 p.m.